There are some people in politics of whom it could be said he'll be spinning in his grave. And I think there's a certain amount of spin that goes with Mr. Clinton and also goes with Mr. Rove in your earlier cut. It amazes me that in the age of videotape and proof, literal proof that you can hear and see of what you've said in the past, that there are people who come forward and say, I didn't say that, I didn't mean that. At any rate, I don't think it was good news for Mrs. Clinton, but I think her essential problem in the past few weeks is that her whole candidacy really towards her approach towards the base of the Democratic Party said essentially, I am inevitable. That's what got her money. That's what got her support. That's what got her endorsements. Suddenly, she started to go down a little bit. She started to look evitable. Well, if you're the inevitable and suddenly you're not the inevitable, people will look at you and think, well, then what the heck are you? What are you?
They have permission to go somewhere else.
Inevitability was her core strategy, and Clinton and his comments have refocused attention on a weakness. Karl Rove is the liar in the rewriting of history contest. But I think what you're seeing in Iowa, again, is the war is very important to voters in Iowa. It's a fluid race. Obama has shown that judgment may count more than experience. And I think Edwards is still in the running, speaking very powerfully to an issue, the economy, George. I mean, the foreclosures, the economic tsunami that's hitting us, he speaks to eloquently. And Richardson is also the one who is the clearest in this sort of top-tier secretary.
But I wonder if the war is actually receding in Iowa among Democrats, and it is coming back to the economy. And you saw part of Hillary Clinton's strategy to fight back at Barack Obama, Elizabeth, is to focus it on health care and to say that he's not going to bring the answers. He's not going to cover everyone.
That's right, and but I think on Bill Clinton, what I'd like to say is that he, you know, this whole dissembling, he was heavily briefed on the war in Iraq by Condi Rice when she was National Security Advisor, and by Elliot Abrams on the National Security Council staff. And on Karl Rove, I was amazed to see that comment.
You were covering the White House.
I was covering things then, and this is the time when Andy Card said that you don't begin marketing campaigns in August. They began it in September.
But let me follow up on one thing you said about President Clinton there, though, because his team says, yes, he came in for some briefings, but all they were logistical briefings of the troops are going to be here, they're going to move there on this day, and it wasn't asking his advice. Is that not your understanding from the
My understanding is that they were very, very pleased to have his support privately, and they were very, very glad that he was not going to criticize certainly what they were doing, and they were extensive briefings.
George, it's documented. I mean, he wrote an op-ed in The Guardian supporting Tony Blair's decision to support George W. Bush. It is amazing, as Peggy said, that in this age of video and print, that these Bill Clinton and Karl Rove think they can get away with this. Again, though, the shamelessness of Karl Rove, who has used the war as a bloody partisan bashing tool against the Democrats to come forward. I'm pleased we're talking about this on the media because he's gotten a free ride too often.
Well, I don't think he's going to get a free ride in this. But let me bring this back, George, to the strategy going forward.